They're chasing out Solo here. He's gonna die to the soul burn of the Orchid from Queen of Pain. So nice little return kill there for them, as he was split pushing that bottom lane, not involved in that fight top. And so overall, looks like a 3 for 2 in the way of Fnatic if you include that kill on Solo in the bot lane. So a nice little influx of experience, 4,000, and good gold as well, going the way of Fnatic here, with Arise being the main contributor. Stampede committed bottom, looks like just to sound the retreat of Ace here. And we'll see what the next item choice is for Arise here. Perhaps a Bloodstone, perhaps a Scythe of Vice. I think the Scythe would be the best here. Versus the Brewmaster, if they can get that Ancient Seal off on him first and then Hex him to follow that up. If they kill him before the split in most fights, they will be in good shape. Orchid here, is there a Sonic Wave? Not needed. Silent gonna go down in the top lane. Big priority kill for Rise here. Unfortunately, Arise not able to get that last hit. Rise gets quite a nice gold bounty there. 577 going his way. But experience more the big thing here. 750 or 700 or so going the way of both of them. It does look like an ultimate orb pickup here from Arise. Looks like he'll be going for that Scythe. Hoof Stomp in the mid lane just to clear some things out. Looks like a solo kill going here for Yoki. Nice Demonic Purge as well. Will there be a Mystic Flare? It looks like not from Yoki. They will Ancient Seal him up, but he pops BKB. And he'll be just fine. Rise gonna get cleaned up with 2 last right clicks from Resolution. Fight's going extremely well middle. And Crick gonna run away here. Arise actually hops in pretty zealously here. And he's gonna Orchid up Resolution to stop the split from happening. But Blink is down for another 5 seconds. And that'll stave off the aggression from Resolution here. 2 for 1 in the mid lane. Blink and Clap. 1 right click. Gonna take away 60% of this HP pool for Arise, and Resolution gonna look to take down this tower before there is any response. Rise gonna go back in with that Orchid. He won't be able to use Sonic Wave, however. Nice Orchid from the backside from Silent, and they'll clean up Arise and potentially get this tower as well. Big TP's in though, however. From the side of Fnatic, with Rise coming in as well. However, 4 people here from Empire. Jump in, Primal Split, no clap here. Ancient Seal out onto Solo. Rise is going to Ghost Scepter up. He'll be just fine for now. Nice double edge, going to finish off Solo here. Mystic Flare is going to whip. Yoki's going to finish off Rise. And the Exorcism trying to do work for Hani here. Will they pick up Ace on the top side? Nice overgrowth. Will Yoki go down? One more Crypt Swarm from Hani. No, he's going to leap out. The Aegis will pop over to the Soul Burn. And Hani's going to get Demonic Purged and cleaned up from Silent. 4 down for the side of Fnatic. And after a great showing versus Compass Gaming, Fnatic getting rolled here in the mid game by Empire. 4,000 experience going the way of Empire. Net 2,500 in their favor, and net 1,400 gold in their swing in their favor. Silent sitting on 1,100 gold. He must have something coming out on the courier. He does have his full BKB coming, as well as the Vlad's coming out here now for... Arise does find a kill on Resolution's Brewmaster here in the mid lane, but Yoki gonna get a free solo kill, return kill on him. And this Treant Protector has not worked out today in the Summit too. Silent actually going to find Ace as well. Will there be enough to kill him? No, this Soul Burn will not tick him out. And he'll have 200 health to spare on his way back to base. However, Resolution going down in the mid. He did buy his Vlad's and an Ogre Club before then, so he'll be just fine here. And Rise does get cleaned up afterwards, nowhere near his Scythe of Vice here. 1,200 gold in addition to his ultimate orb, so still needs 1,500 just for that Mystic Staff plus his Void Stone here. So 23 or so 100 gold away from that Scythe of Vice on the Queen of Pain. Arise has been pretty underwhelming this game, sitting at level 16, 15 I should say, under the level 16 of Yoki and Silent on the Void and Clinks respectively. So the dual lane off lane for Empire working out extremely well for them. So excellent choice from them to choose that lane. And we'll see if we see a smoke movement mid. There is an Orchid here for a Rise, of course. But she'll look just to clean up the lane mid. Maelstrom comes out now for Yoki. He's got a full BKB Treads, Mask of Madness, Maelstrom. 24 minutes in. And Stampede out in the mid lane. They're just going to stomp Resolution here. Will they have an Ancient Seal for him? No, he splits instantly out of the defensive disruption. And that's what I was talking about in the draft. They will be able to kite that split. Rai is going to try and find a kill on Always Wanna Fly. He won't be able to do so. And will be the sacrificial lamb for Fnatic here. However, objective can possibly be taken here. They know the split is down now. So they can use the Ancient Seal on someone else if they so choose. But a double damage here on Silent. He'll be able to strafe. Blink forward. Orchid up onto Ace. He won't be able to get the stomp off. And Silent will clean him up real quick with that DD rune. And this is GG territory here, folks. 14,000 net worth lead amassed. 12,000 experience lead in the way of Empire here. And
Radiant's middle tower is under
Fnatic looking pretty slouchy at this point. 3-6 is their record in the summit. Looking to go 3-7. Orchid out. Not sure onto who. Onto Hani from the low ground from Silent.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
And they'll just sack their T2 at this point. They do have some pretty decent high ground defense with the Overgrowth, the Sonic Wave, the Exorcism, and the Centaur's toolkit. But so it looks like they are a little tentative to go in here, but a nice chrono from Yoki will pretty much secure a set of racks here for Empire. So it looks like that's what they're trying to find here. Still 35 seconds until the split, but the Brewmaster hits pretty hard with this Ogre Club as well as Treads and Vlad. So still can do quite a bit of work in these team fights. Ace going to be the bait. Jump in clap from Resolution. Looks like solo DCs, unfortunately. Very inopportune time for him to DC as such. Concussive shot is on the way to Resolution here. And as you can see, Skywrath Mage blowing his load towards Resolution. Stampede out from Ace, however, and his Blink Dagger is down. He won't be able to turn back and Hoof Stomp Resolution in time. But there will be an instant Ancient Seal on him. Unless they are still aware of the fact that Primal Split is down. Not sure if they're keeping the timers that well. So, yeah. Unpause here. Ancient Seal instantly out onto Resolution. He will dodge the Mystic Flare and the Sonic Wave. Nice vacuum in, though. And Chrono on too from Yoki. He'll find Ace and Crit in this Chrono. But the Exorcism will clean up Solo in the meantime, and it will clean up Silent. Rise gonna Ghost Scepter. He'll still go down here. Rise will be able to blink out, and a nice Orchid onto Yoki, as well as the Shadow Strike, and they'll find him as well in this mid lane. Ultra kill for Rise on this Queen of Pain, and 4 for 3 in the mid lane. Hani and Queen of Pain surviving here. That's going to be a very nice influx of experience. 10,000 experience going the way of Fnatic here. That's huge. 3,600 going towards the Queen of Pain. 2,900 towards Hani on this Death Prophet. That's a 6,000 experience swing, as well as a 3,500 gold swing, roughly, going the way of Fnatic. So as I mentioned, they do have good high ground defense. And a really unfortunate DC there for Solo. Not going to say it changed the fight much, as he didn't back out at all. He was sitting right over here, and the fight was engaging here, so he was just fine to get in there. But just really nice combination of spells. And in the mid lane, Queen of Pain and Ace. Arise and Ace going to finish off Solo here with a nice Orchid pop, as well as the side device. That is now out for Arise here. Another 1,500 gold going her way. Take a look at the hero levels at this point. Arise is now leading after these two engagements. Nice blink forward from Arise and the Stampede. They're going to finish off the TPing in. Always Wanna Fly for free. And that should mean this tier 1 tower in the mid as well. So great trades going the way of Fnatic in the last couple of minutes. Jump forward from Yoki, however. He's going to get Arise in this Chrono. Living Armor will go out under Arise. It's not going to be enough, however. And that's a huge kill after all that's gone Arise's way. Nice Ghost Scepter from Rise will keep him up. Silent, however, going to clean up Ace here. And 2-0 in the mid lane going the way of Empire. Yoki even going to blink forward here. He's got the makings of a Mjolnir. Needs 400 gold, 300 gold, I should say at this point. For that Hyperstone, and he's looking really fat. Take a look at the net worth. Arise has surpassed him after that engagement mid there, but going down has given them a lot of experience. And Hani still sitting pretty far behind on this Death Prophet. 4th overall net worth, 11,000 net worth. Does have the Heart Up and a Ghost Scepter at this point. So pretty decent toolkit for him. There isn't too much magic damage on the side of Empire, but with this damage from the Clinks, Clinks actually picks up a Diffusal Blade here, so not something we've seen all too often, but the Purge is actually really good for this Clinks, and to keep a target stationary as well as give you the mana burn. Of course, in the last patch, Searing Arrows was made to stack with Orb effects, so crazy pickup there from Silent. That'll help out his team quite a bit here. And burning the mana of this Death Prophet as well as the Queen of Pain. Very, very useful skill for Silent to have at this point in the game. So things still looking Empire's way, but you see the spike in the graph. 4,000 swing about backwards in terms of net worth in the way of Fnatic, and much more in experience, as we saw that 10,000 experience bounty going their way. But regardless, things still looking good for Empire here, unless they can find out Resolution with a Rise. Nature's Guised Up. There is going to be an Orchid as well as a Scythe of Ice here, but there are 3. And they will actually just look to blink out here. Perhaps if they Orchid up Yoki and find him there, that's a pretty big kill for them, but they only seem to have around 3 heroes there. And 30 seconds on the TP from a Rise here. He should be just fine in the tree line here, unless there's a vacuum from Solo. But not sure that he's wary of this. And I don't think that is the case. Group up as 5 from Empire in this top lane with the Aegis. Arise is going to be able to flank them from behind. However, his blink will be on cooldown if he does choose to do so. Silent's actually walking by now, so good thing he doesn't blink out here.
Radiant's top tower is
He
under
would have
attack.
gotten Orchided and most likely killed if that was the case. Smoke from Resolution, Silent, and Solo here. And they'll just bait Yoki in the front lines. Always want to fly going to be caught in that smoke as well. And actually, they'll look to wrap behind the tower. And perhaps they find Hani here. Blink forward from Resolution. He's going to get an Agent sealed up. Instantly Mystic flared. Nice defensive disruption there. Sonic Wave actually going to whiff. Resolution's caught in the Chrono though, and he'll go down as Rise goes down as well. Yoki's going to clean up Crit. He's going to clean up Hani. Looks like, oh, nice Yules defensively for Hani here, but concussive shot not going to be enough to save Hani. Yoki with a double kill. He's going to lead forward. Triple kill. Picking up Skyrath here as well. Ace, does he have a double edge? He does, but nice defensive disruption once again from Always Wanna Fly, and Yoki will survive here. 5 for 2 in the bot lane going the way of Empire. Buyback is only available on everyone but Arise and Hani. And those are exactly the 2 heroes that you need to buy back here. So as you can see, Arise and Hani short in terms of gold. And this looks to be an easy lane of racks for Empire, if not Throne, if they choose to do so.
Top tower is under attack.
Of course, the late game is certainly well within Empire's hands, with the Clinks Void up against Death Prophet, Queen of Pain. So they don't really have to look to force Throne here. Overgrowth is available here soon, and no sentries down for Empire, so perhaps Crit looks to delay this a bit, but it doesn't seem to be the case. They'll take a free lane of racks here for the side of Empire. So unfortunate for Fnatic. Concussive shot out onto Yoki. Will he get sealed up here? He does get hexed and sealed up. He's going to feed his life away. Actually, he time locks Crit a few times before dying. That's just an Aegis though. And they'll reinitiate on Rise. Nice Ghost Scepter from him. However, Chrono gonna stop that, and Silent gonna pick him up with his BKB pop. Ace not gonna be able to do much. They'll clean up another. Triple kill for Yoki. Ghost Scepter out from Hani here. He'll get Diffusal though. Very nice play from Silent. And Diffusal doing a lot of work for him. Double kill for Silent. Fight recap. Well within their favor. 8,300 experience, and wall even to be planted in the fountain for good measure here from Solo. And they'll look to end the game here. Resolution gonna split for no apparent reason. About to die to the tower. So Celebration split coming out from our Resolution here.
Radiant's middle tower
And
has fallen.
Fnatic can certainly re-engage
Middle tower
with
is
a
under
glyph
attack.
up here. We'll see to look if they glyph this tier 4
Radiant's middle tower
or if they
has
just
fallen.
call the GG. No glyph from them yet.
Radiant's middle
Will
tower
they
has
glyph the
fallen.
Ancient? Doesn't seem like it. There's
Radiant's
no
ancient
buyback from
is under
Arise or
attack.
Hani here. And they will actually jump in with Ace. Nice BKB pop from
Radiant's middle
Resolution.
barracks has
He'll
fallen.
be just fine. They still have a glyph. Actually, they
Radiant's
popped their glyph
ancient
here.
is
Ace is
under
going to go
attack.
down. And that certainly, at this point, GG. So, Arise going to try and jump out and kill Resolution. Going to be a little too late. Empire going to take their game. First game of the day. Fnatic dropping to 3-7 in the summit. They are certainly, at this point, for all intents and purposes, eliminated from the tournament. There are 3 teams in the top 5 with currently with 5 wins. Just as so Fnatic can make still 6 wins overall, but they all have many games still to be played. Fnatic at 3-7 now has played 10 of 11 games, and so yep, really no chance for them. They might even be entirely mathematically eliminated. I have to check that quickly here. They'll go 3-7 now. So yeah, Tinker can definitely not have 7 losses. Neither can Secret. Power Rangers can, and Virtus Pro can. So at this moment, Fnatic isn't entirely eliminated, but we'll see what they have in the head-to-head here. They did lose to Power Rangers, so they can't win the tiebreaker head-to-head with Power Rangers, and they also lost to VPP as well. So for all intents and purposes, Fnatic pretty much eliminated from the tournament with that loss. Unfortunately, it looks like my client is out of date, so we're going to have to restart for that one. But thanks again for joining me, guys. I'm Maurice Blaze, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. We've got one more match to be actually 2 more matches in the Summit 2 to be casted for today. I'm only going to be casting one of them. That is Na'Vi versus Alliance Throwback TI3 matchup here. So be sure to check it out. It'll be coming up in the next couple of minutes. Hopefully, was scheduled for a minute ago here, and so probably will be up fairly soon. Just going to update my Dota 2 here, and hopefully I'll be able to get in before the next draft begins. But this is the Summit 2, presented by Beyond the Summit and G2A.com and 100tv.com and Twitch TV. So thanks again for joining me, guys. Unfortunately for Fnatic, that's more or less their hopes for the tournament being crushed there by Empire. Empire will go to 2-3 overall in the tournament here. They won versus Alliance and lost to BBC, Moscow 5, and Secret so far. So they lost to 2 of the teams that they were expected to beat. So certainly going to be an uphill climb for Empire up against the likes of Cloud9, Na'Vi, Tinker, VPP, PR, and Compass still. So only about maybe 1 or 2 games there that they're expected to crush. They are up against PR later today. The current odds on Dota 2 Lounge are 46% PR, 54% Empire. So in no sense does the public consider that the potential for a stomp there. So Empire going to have a tough hill to climb, but they start off right today with their first win up versus Fnatic. Looks like Fnatic's more or less eliminated from the tournament at this point, so condolences goes out to them and their fans. But we'll have a game coming up soon here, guys. Once again, next game is Na'Vi versus Alliance, so a really big game for a lot of you fanboys out there, and hopefully BTS will have that up fairly soon. Was scheduled for actually 4 minutes ago, so 5 minutes ago at this point. So I am Maurice Pizarro, resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. I will be back momentarily for the next game. Unfortunately, Liquipedia does not have the updated standings up quite yet with that last game. So if you take a look at these standings here, Fnatic is actually 3-7, and Empire is 2-3 after that last game. But not much shuffling in the way of positions. Empire does overtake Alliance, and Fnatic remains at 8th. So Navi still a lot to play here, guys. Cloud9 a lot to play. Secret and Tinker even have 4 and 5 games left, respectively. So, or I should say, in reverse order. Secret with 5 games to go. Tinker with 4. So still a lot of good Dota to be played here for the Summit 2 EU qualifiers. Also, the double elimination playoff bracket after this round robin. Of course, the Chinese qualifiers, I believe, in terms of round robin, have come to a conclusion this morning. Vici had their own fate in their hands and was able to win out in their last 2 games and barely make the top 4. So they are in 4th place. They will make it to the playoff bracket there. So that'll be Newbie, CDEC, LGD, and Vici fighting for the Chinese spot in the Summit here. But tons of Dota still to be played here in the qualifiers, guys. Americas have many games left in their bracket. Europe, of course, has quite a few games, as you can see. Yeah, Fnatic is mathematically eliminated, so Liquipedia has updated here, guys. So you can check that out. I'm going to get that up for you just in a quick moment here. Um, but yeah, so Fnatic has been mathematically eliminated from the tournament, unfortunately for them. So they will not be, you will not see Hani and the boys up in LA for the Summit Land finals, unfortunately. But either way, well played to Empire in that game. Just can you refresh this here? Should have this up. Yep, as you can see, Fnatic is in the red, so they are out of the tournament. No longer, as I mentioned, they lost here to Virtus Pro Polar and also lost to PR, I believe. I'll take a look at Fnatic here. They lost to Virtus Pro Polar and PR, so they wouldn't have the tiebreaker with either of those teams, and therefore are mathematically eliminated from the tournament. Cloud9 still in pretty good standing, only 2 losses. Na'Vi has only 1 loss. Alliance has 5 losses. So Alliance clutching to their hopes here against Na'Vi. The game is not quite up yet, so we'll be back real soon, guys. But it's big implications here for Alliance. It's pretty much their tournament hopes on the line and up against what has certainly become a bitter rival for them in Na'Vi. Of course, Na'Vi not looking extremely strong lately. They did have a good showing in the Star Ladder qualifiers, and that's why they are in the LAN finals, which comes up in a couple days from now. But unfortunately for them, they haven't been doing well in too many other tournaments. So we'll see what Na'Vi is able to do here. Odds on Dota 2 Lounge are currently 61% in the favor of Na'Vi. So as you can see here, Alliance losing quite a few games so far. Lost to Cloud9, lost to Empire, lost to Compass, PR, and Tinker. So all respectable teams that they lost to there. They're certainly expected to beat the likes of Moscow 5 and BBC, which they already did beat. But up against Na'Vi here, they can go maximum 6 wins. So they can perhaps squeak into the playoffs at 4th place. But Na'Vi or Alliance certainly need to win out here. 1 more loss for them, and they're going to have quite a few, quite a lot of troubles here. So unfortunately for them. But thanks so much for joining me, guys. I am Maurice, please. You're a resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. In a couple of minutes, we'll have Na'Vi versus Alliance. And actually, the lobby has opened up now, so I'm going to hop right into the game for you guys. And we'll get on with this matchup, which is a really awesome one. And something I'm certainly excited to cast. I haven't been able to cast much of Na'Vi lately, so with the new squad, with Vanscore and FNG. So we'll see how they meld here, what their draft has been like. It looks like they need to find a grasp of this patch more than anything. Of course, Na'Vi always known as a great team fight team. So see what they're able to do up against Alliance. Alliance has looked strong, but probably one of the most, if not the most predictable teams in this meta. In the TI 3 days, Alliance was one of the teams that had the most success with this ratty sort of 4 protect 1 create space style, but that's often the direction their draft goes, and because of that, teams are able to really predict where they're going and their play style in terms of protecting Loda and creating space with Chessie and AB here. A few stand-ins have been in for Chessie recently. I'm not sure if he'll be playing today. We'll see as we hop into the game here. But I know A Mother has been standing in for Alliance, as well as at ESL 1, which is a little while ago at this point. Hani stood in for them in the mid role. So we'll see if Chessie ends up being in the lineup today, or if A Mother stands in for them. And it looks like Ape Mother, yeah, is so Ape Mother is standing in once again for Alliance. Not sure if that's a permanent change here or if they're trying him out or anything like that. But
Navi's
yeah,
turn
very
to
very well
ban.
played. Um, Very well played from Empire last game to take down Fnatic. We'll see this next game. This is the Summit 2 European Qualifiers. I'm Morris, please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and this is Navi
10 seconds remaining.
Alliance. So throwback TI3 grand final
5
matchup.
seconds
We'll
remaining.
see what direction the draft goes. I'm very excited to cast here. Uh, I'm gonna flame the crap
Alliance's
out of
turn to
Admiral Bulldog
ban.
if he plays bad because he's one of my favorite players and he's been playing very poorly recently, in my humble opinion. So I
Navi's
feel like
turn
he's
to
got a
ban.
much higher skill cap than he's been showing, and we'll see if AB is able to redeem himself in my twisted mind in this one. Brewmaster going to be the ban here from Navi. First overall, going to deny that from Ape Mother.
10
And
seconds
Void going
remaining.
to be banned out here from Alliance. Funnick is very
5
proficient on
seconds
and
remaining.
capable on that Void. So they'll ban that out from Funnick as well as a Vost.
Reserve
And
time.
yeah, we'll see what the second ban is from Navi here. Hopefully I have Dota up right now. I gotta check that. Yep, wrong screen. Derp. So we are in the draft, and this is not Radio Dota. I am Morris Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. Ogre Magi gonna be
Alliance's
banned
turn
out
to ban.
by Navi here. So very strong support recently, especially with the Bloodlust for all these 4 Protect 1 strats, as I mentioned last game, as well as um, of course the Fire Blast buffs to the ultimate
10 seconds
first level
remaining.
has a 40% chance to 2 times multicast. So
5 seconds remaining.
good stuff there. And we will see
Reserve time.
what the ban is from Alliance. They'll eat a bit into their reserve time. Will both teams here. So both teams contemplating pretty much the entirety of their strategy a little bit early on. It doesn't look like there's any, so to speak, respect ban so far. Except in the way of Funnick.
Navi's turn to
Funnick's Bat
pick.
Rider as well as his Void banned out here from Alliance. Certainly a player to worry about in terms of Navi. Don't think many would argue that Dendy and Funnick are certainly the standouts for this squad. So we'll see what the first pick is here from Navi. They've been somewhat flexible, and that's why I feel that they really haven't totally gotten a grasp on what they love to do in this meta
Skyrath
yet. But they
made.
will pick up the Skyrath.
Alliance's
Very,
turn to pick.
very cut and dry support, very stable support, even with the nerfs, couple of nerfs to Mystic Flare we've seen. Um, so I really like this hero. Of course, the silence that it offers is extremely powerful with the amplification to the magic damage. So we'll see what the response is from Alliance here. Perhaps they pick up the
10 seconds
Centaur
remaining.
for AB early on to deny that
5
from
seconds
Navi, but still
remaining.
leaves quite a few capable offlaners in the pool. So we'll see what Alliance looks to go here. Perhaps they
Reserve
pick up
time.
the supports early on. Usually I see maybe one mid-wad support in this 1-2 pickup kind of thing. So um, eating quite a bit into the reserve time as Alliance. They'll actually pick up the IO here. Interesting from
Alliance's
them.
turn to pick.
I will probably see Ake on this. I know EGM used to run it a lot. It could be Misery, however. Misery has been great for Alliance since joining the team. Especially his Rubik has really impressed me since he joined the squad. So he can certainly be capable of playing the Wisp. Not sure if they want him to play on a little bit of a more impactful
10
big
seconds
play
remaining.
support, however. So we'll see what they look to
5
couple this
seconds
IO
remaining.
with. Of course, you don't necessarily need a Wisp hero, and I'm certainly a fan of the Wisp in
Reserve
general.
time.
And I don't feel that it's necessary to have sort of that tiny
Centaur
burst fan. And they will pick up the Centaur, as I mentioned,
Navi's
for
turn to
AB
pick.
here. So they will deny that Centaur Skywrath combo. It's a very strong combo, and pick up a solid offlaner for themselves. So I really I'm a fan of the decision here from Alliance. I think that it's a smart play, and it doesn't necessarily reveal anything about their draft plans thereafter. So IO Centaur, very ambiguous at this point, of course.
10
You can have the
seconds
general IO
remaining.
bans like the Tiny and the Sven, but perhaps that they are baiting
5
Na'Vi
seconds remaining.
into banning those things and have something else in mind. And if Na'Vi gets smart and doesn't ban those things,
Reserve
of
time.
course, they are always very strong pickups. And actually, they're going to have a Slark pickup here
Navi's turn to
from
ban.
Na'Vi. So we'll see if Hvost actually runs this Slark. Of course, Slark can run in all three lanes as a core. Is probably particularly weak in the off lane out of the three. Safe lane, mid, and off lane. And there's actually a Doom ban here from
Alliance's
Na'Vi.
turn
So
to ban.
gonna pick up the Slark and ban the Doom, which is certainly understandable. However, of course, Doom no longer disables Shadow Dance passive unless you have the Aghanim's upgrade. So Slark is much better into Doom
10
than he
seconds
used to be,
remaining.
but still, if you keep him in vision,
5 seconds
Doom very
remaining.
potent up against that Slark. So, and of course, Doom is pretty popular in Europe,
Reserve
more
time.
so than in the Americas, and still is pretty popular in China as well. But I haven't seen it too much lately, especially from teams like Vici. With their new lineup, they haven't run too much Doom. But
Navi's
Secret loves
turn
to
to
run
ban.
this Doom on fly in the off lane. So in Europe, it's still pretty popular. Treant Protector is going to be the ban here from Alliance. Um, Treant has been picked in the last two games in the summit, and both teams picking Treant
10 seconds
ended up
remaining.
losing here. So Alliance still don't want to see it. Perhaps
5 seconds
they're looking
remaining.
for the Tiny here, and therefore a Treant would be a very good pick up against that Tiny with that base slow
Alliance's
attack
turn
speed.
to ban.
Bristleback's going to be the ban here from Alliance. So Bristle IO, not something we've seen in a very long while, um, but perhaps that's why they banned the tree, because they are looking to put the Quill
10
Spray
seconds
Harass, which
remaining.
obviously has a couple seconds in between each damage instance
5
there
seconds
for
remaining.
Alliance. So pretty smart ban from Na'Vi. I'm not sure if they're overthinking
Reserve
it
time.
there, if Alliance wanted to go in that direction or not. But I have really never seen Bulldog play Bristle or Loda for that matter. So perhaps Ape Mother is a good Bristle player. I don't really have the book on him so much. I've only really seen him
Alliance's
play
turn to pick.
with Alliance here. So LC is the ban from Alliance. LC actually couples very nicely with the Wisp. So looks like they weren't privy to picking that up themselves, but they will ban out the LC for Na'Vi here, potentially for Havost or Dendi. I know LC has been run in the offlane, but it's pretty much
10
solely by
seconds remaining.
Cloud9 on Bone 7, so I haven't seen other teams run LC other
5
than in the
seconds
one
remaining.
position mostly. So saw LC earlier
Reserve
today
time.
from Shashari Cat from Power Rangers, and I believe they ended up winning that game. Yeah, they won both their games today. That did PR. So um, yeah, that was with Ditya on the anti-mage in that game as well, I believe. So well played from them earlier today, but the LC going to be banned out here from Alliance. So unfortunately, we won't see the Legion Commander in this game. Alliance eating heavily into their reserve time on this third pick in the second pick phase, and they're actually going to pick up the Death Prophet. So
Navi's turn to
once
pick.
again, my prediction for the most banned hero this week actually leaking through into the draft. So fuck me sideways and call me Sally. Probably lost that one. Brewmaster has been banned in the last few games. He was picked up last game by Empire on resolution, but seems to be banned pretty often here. So Death Prophet going to be picked up for Ape Mother, presumably for
10
Alliance here in the
seconds
mid
remaining.
lane, and does synergize pretty well with the Wisp,
5
keeping her
seconds
up
remaining.
as well as um, giving her extra movement speed with
Reserve
the
time.
tether. So that's pretty good for Alliance. Of course, Overcharge doesn't help extreme amounts for a Death Prophet. Of course, she doesn't do too much right clicking, but either way, they can still have the one position hero synergize even better with the Wisp than the Death Prophet does. So we'll see what Navi looks to respond with here um, on their third pick in the second pick phase. And so far, they've got one core here in the Slark, as well as, of course, the 4 or 5 Skywrath Mage, probably in the 4 position. And they'll pick up the Bane. So interesting support combo
Alliance's
here.
turn to pick.
And not something we saw too much. Sleep definitely effective versus the Death Prophet. Um, to keep her out of the fights and kite that exorcism as well as the grip. And of course, grip Mystic Flare, pretty damn good combo. You can sleep to set up concussive shot seal simultaneously. You can sleep, drop the concussive shot, and then seal as it lands. So that's pretty
10
damn good
seconds remaining.
there. But Bane Skywrath is not all too common. Of course,
5
Nightmare does set
seconds
up the
remaining.
pounce as well. So the first three heroes of Navi synergizing pretty well together
Reserve
in
time.
this draft, and we'll see what Alliance looks to respond with at this point. Um, they have only 15 seconds of reserve time remaining, so they're going to have to make this pick pretty quickly here.
10
And
seconds remaining.
we'll see if they look to pick up. Oh, they pick up the CK. So not only is
Navi's
this a
turn to pick.
TI3 rematch, but Alliance has Wisp Chaos Knight here. So looking a lot like 6, 7, 8, I want to say. Really throwback here. We'll see what Loda's obviously very capable on this Chaos Knight. I'm interested to see his build. With the buffs, the recent buffs to Phantasm. Often you see this 4-4-0-0 build on Chaos Knight early on, especially with the Wisp
10
for
seconds
max
remaining.
gank ability here, but we will see what ends up
5
happening here.
seconds remaining.
Wisp CK pretty damn strong way back in the
Reserve
day,
time.
but we'll see what ends up happening here. We'll see what ends up happening for Alliance and the final support pick. Um, Navi going to respond here, eating into their reserve time quite heavily. Definitely going to have to think about this one. Bit of a curveball from Alliance. Of course, Wisp or CK was considered for very long and still is considered to be a Wisp hero, but has really fallen out of Pro Dota and Dota in general for a very long time. CK has not been played for a couple of patches. And so we'll see what Loda's able to do with him here. I do like the maneuverability of Alliance's lineup, though, with the Reality Rift and
10 seconds
as well as
remaining.
the Tether movement speed, the Blink Dagger that's potentially
Alliance's
going to come
turn
out
to
here for
ban.
Centaur. They do have a lot of chaseability here, and they do have a lot of utility to help maximize the effectiveness of that exorcism. But Tidehunter is going to be the pick here for Navi for Fnatic, presumably, unless they put a Vost
10
on it in the
seconds
safe
remaining.
lane. But that's a pretty damn good pick
Five seconds
into this
remaining.
lineup of CKDP Centaur that really wants to jump at you. The
Reserve
counter
time.
initiation of the
5
Tidehunter
seconds remaining.
Ravage is going to do quite a bit of work. Of course, Centaur and Death Prophet are two heroes that do build tanky, so
Navi's turn to
Ravage not
ban.
necessarily going to be game changing against those heroes, and CK generally will build a BKB as well. So not too sure how effective the Ravage will be this game. Of course, if you hit a Ravage on an IO, it's pretty much dead no
10
matter
seconds
what.
remaining.
You'll never see an IO make it to a BKB, and if it does,
5
either the game's
seconds
gone on way
remaining.
too long or it's just a complete stop at that point. So Razor Band from Navi, going to
Alliance's
deny that
turn
from
to pick.
Dendi. Of course, Static Link Nightmare is a pretty good combo. Static Link Pounce is a pretty good combo. Static Link Concussive Shot is a pretty good combo. And Plasma Field synergizes well with the Ravage. So very good ban here from Alliance, denying that Razor from Dendi. AA is going to be the ban from Navi. So a strong laning support, but I don't feel like it's best with IO anyways.
10
It does help
seconds
with the
remaining.
Centaur ganks and the relocate ganks as well, so they
5
are
seconds
getting rid of it
remaining.
for its global potential, presumably, but I feel like they needed support
Lina.
with a little more lockdown here, and they actually pick up the Lina
Navi's
for
turn
Alliance,
to
so they do
pick.
have the stun from Lina here, the Light Strike array, but um, not certainly not anything reliable. They do have, of course, they can open with the CK stun into the light strike array here with the Chaos Bolt. So that works pretty well. I like the tri lane there for Alliance. They have pretty cut and dry lanes,
10
however,
seconds
and
remaining.
therefore Navi has the freedom to kind of do
5
some
seconds
wonky
remaining.
things with their lanes and confuse Alliance a bit and
Reserve
perhaps gain an
time.
advantage.
Templar
And they actually
Assassin.
will pick up Dendi's TA here. So great drafts from both teams. Crazy game incoming. So I'm just going to tweet this out. Dendy TA, as well as Loda CK here is crazy. And we'll hop right into the game here, guys. I'm just going to get this tweeted to the world. A really sweet throwback draft from both teams. And 8-month are going to pick up the mid Death Prophet, of course. And so as I mentioned, pretty
10
standard
seconds remaining.
from both teams. Everyone playing in their general roles here.
5
Haven't
seconds
seen much of
remaining.
Slark. Interested to see how effective he is on that hero. And of course, Dendy's TA is never anything short
Prepare for battle.
of spectacular. So Loda's got a pretty nice set here for the CK. If anyone has CK cosmetics, it's him. I don't think anyone else in the world plays this damn hero. So he looks pretty damn sweet on that. Lina, all stock for Misery, as is AB's Centaur. And does that AB even play anything but Lone Druid and Nature's Prophet? I don't know. 8-Mother on the mid, sporting the Gloom on that Death Prophet. Four-man movement bottom lane from Alliance. Gonna look to see if Fnatic wards, and he already actually got down here to place this new ward here. In the Radiant jungle. So that's going to give him quite a bit of information as to the movements of the supports. And Fnatic going to take up the off-lane Tidehunter. Perhaps in a dual lane with Vanscore on the 5 position. Dane, Dendy in the mid on the Templar Assassin. So he's going to look to be real good. He's rushing a bottle here with just 2 GG branches and a couple of pooled tangos. Havost in the safe lane on the 1 position Slark, and FNG on the 4 position Skywrath Mage. Will there be initiation on this bottom room? Doesn't seem like it's just going to be camped here by Misery. Bounty Rune picked up by Havost in the top lane. Regen picked up by Misery bottom. Unfortunate for them. Couldn't have been a little bit of a better rune early on. Regen is, of course, a rune everyone loves, but not at the first minute of the game. So check out this mid matchup for a bit. It does seem like we do have a dual lane once again from Na'Vi. So as I mentioned in the draft, they had a little more freedom with their lanes than did Alliance with this Wisp pickup. So Fnatic should be fine to stand in lane. He doesn't have Kraken Shell level 1, so they could look to go on him here. But the Anchor Smash is going to do a lot of work. Nice play by Misery to secure the last hit there for Loda. And we're going to have a 2v1 in the top lane for AB. He's skilled up Return level 1 and put quite a bit of harass into FNG, but he's going to be zoned out of the lane fairly soon. Looks like stacking already going on here from Ake. Actually, he's going to single pull and pull through here. Misery going to make a nice pull through, but Fnatic is going to rotate over with the help of Vanscore to contest this pull. And we'll see if Loda actually rotates back into lane. Now, he's just going to find his CS. A nice light strike away from Misery here. And they're actually going to be able to put quite a bit of harass into Fnatic without this Ion Shell. They're going to get a second light strike away in here. A nice defensive sleep, though, from Vanscore is going to stave off the aggression from Misery. And with that regen from the Wisp, Misery doesn't even take a very large hit towards that mana pool of his. 6 last hits going the way of Loda here. Mid lane is favoring DA. Dendy's TA a bit over this Death Prophet. Of course, Refraction makes him more than immune to this Crypt Swarm spam. And FNG doing some stacking and pulling in the top lane. AB's already had to base. He's not even level 2 yet. He's picked up his boots here and perhaps looking to rotate somewhere. Perhaps looking to stack for 8-Mother, but he's gonna need his farm, and not sure why he walks up the mid lane here. AB, please. Still not really sure what he's doing at this point. Probably should have just walked up that lane, but either way. Vanscore rotating in mid. He's got a Nightmare and a Brain Sap, and with a Meld Strike for Dendy here, they should be able to clean up 8-Mother with a Brain Sap. It's gonna be close. Brain Sap doing pure damage. So it's only 90 pure damage, in fact. So Ape Mother's actually going to scout out Vanscore here, I think. Actually, maybe was not able to at that moment. Is just going to look to stack the creeps here. And the pull going on and continuing in the bot lane. Take a look at the hero levels. Lina and Wisp already ahead barely of the Na'Vi supports. However, Admiral Bulldog doing extremely poorly in this solo off lane. Not much he can do about that. A little bit of orb harass, spirit harass coming out from Ake onto Vanscore there, and mid matchup going very well for Dendi. He's sitting on 21 and 15 up against the 7 and 1 of Ape Mother's DP. So Ape Mother not going to have the greatest of farms. He's probably bringing out a bottle at this point. Yes, he is. So he'll be able to at least contest this rune bottom. And he is actually just going to go to stack this camp once more. So looking for that as his recovery mechanism as opposed to trying to find runes and his farm in mid. Bounty rune picked up by Misery top. Illusion rune secured by Vanscore bottom for Dendi. That's going to fill up his bottle once again. We'll give some time to Ape Mother to farm. Loda doing well, 26 and 10. Havos doing equally well, 26 and 11. 27 and 11, I should say, in the top lane. So AB really getting 0, slim to none out of this top lane. He is level 3 now, so he will come with Misery and look for a kill, but the leap animation's a lot quicker than the hoof stomp, so I think Havos should be fine in this top lane if he has a good reaction time. So FNG gonna rotate in, concussive shot gonna go out onto Misery. He will get left upon by Havos, and Dark Pack Ancient Seal clean that up real quick. First blood going the way of Havos.
I've been wanting to say that
AB
since
rotated out.
The grass lies trampled where the body fell.
Bottom lane, Loda doing just fine. Havos doing better though. Without his support in lane, Fnatic has postured up real aggressively on him with 2 levels in Anchor Smash. Excuse me. And he will hit level 4 here. 0-2-2 build for Fnatic on the Tide. And early game going well for Na'Vi so far. Alliance not looking too strong here, but he will Chaos Bolt and Reality Rift him towards the tower. They will get the slow on him as well from the tether. But that's about all they get, as Misery did not have a TP, it seems. AB is rotating in there. They're going to catch out Misery in the jungle here. And Bulldog going to hide and get the hoof stomp off on Fnatic. Nice play from him. He'll get Brain Stabbed, however. Tether to get him away. Light Strike away going to hit on 2 as well as the Dragon's Wave. Nice Reality Rift back on Fnatic. And Ake actually going to be the one to pick him up. Light Strike away going to miss on Vanscore, unfortunately. And 1-0 in the bottom lane, going the way of Loda there. So actually, sorry, Ake got the last right click, unfortunately, for Loda. 1-for-1 is your score 6 minutes in. Dendi doing extremely well in the mid lane. 42 CS, same as his safe lane carry, who hasn't been contested at all. And Ape Mother doing pretty poorly, sitting at 15 and 2 in this mid lane. So all gonna hit level 6 here. That's pretty behind, actually 2 levels behind Dendi is Ape Mother. So really gonna need these stacks to start recovering. Misery's gonna look to stack this here with a little stop casting. Looks pretty cute. Looks like she's dancing. But he will be successful in stacking this one. So that is now a quad stack. Oh, actually, it's unsuccessful. This Centaur gets back just in time. And it looks like Misery, with the help of Ape Mother, will be able to clean this up. And that'll get them some experience in gold, but not nearly enough to be in Dendi territory at this point. So take a look at the bot lane. Ake just here to support Loda. He is building 3-2 right now. And has no points in stats. So he's holding on to his level 6. So as I mentioned in this draft, interesting to see where he goes. And he does go with the Phantasm, according to those buffs there. So he does go with the Phantasm. There's none of this 4-4-0-0 build. for Loda here. Phantasm is pretty strong, especially if you're able to get the extra Phantasm, and they do last very long now. 34-second duration if you're not able to kill them. So pretty good ability at this point. We'll see if they're able, excuse me, to use it to good effect. So AB sitting on his tranquils. He's extremely far off this blink, 8 minutes into the game, and not much else going on at this point. Take a look at the net worth chart, led by the 2 leaders in last hits, of course. At this point, not many kills going the way of either team. So another stack going to be cleaned up by Misery and Ape Mother here. So one thing that Lena does offer this team is the ability to help farm stacks. So yeah, we'll see Ape Mother clean up another few creeps here with a nice Crypt Swarm there. And going for a 303 build. That does finally hit a level 7, so is still behind Havost and Dendi, but by a smaller margin at this point. Dendi finding complete free farm in the mid lane. Looks like he'll be going drums. He's 200 gold away from that. Already has Treads bottle, so very quick Treads bottle drums here for Dendi. Of course, he's had pretty much utter free farm. 61 last hits in 9 minutes. And has been having pretty good control over the runes as well. So Reality Rift forward is on to Vanscore. He'll defensively see, but he'll get hit by a Chaos Bolt there. And nice play from Alliance to finally pick up a kill here. Phantasm is going to be popped bottom lane, so they're going to look to put some harass into this tower. Treant Protector was banned this game, so towers will actually go down. No early glyph usage from Na'Vi here. Looks like they're pretty willing to sack this tower. Fnatic gonna get zoned out here by Ake. FNG gonna look to pick him up. Does he have the Mystic Flare available yet? No. Still not even level 5. A nice tether back from Ake. And mass TPs in bot lane. A nice Nightmare. Havost actually forward. He's gonna find Ake here with a Dark Pact. And as well, Loda gonna be cleaned up too for Nil in the bot lane there. TA for Dendi finding the kill on Loda. Really nice pickup hit for him. He's got his drums and 700 gold up. And now we can take a look at the net worth and see that it is fairly skew in Navi's favor. Looks like we will see a Gules build probably from Ape Mother here. Works very well against the Meld Strike as well as Mystic Flare, and even if timed extremely well, the Ravage. Psionic Trap going to be planted a little too far from Denny, but he's got a Haste Rune here, and we'll look to harass out Ape Mother. A nice Meld Strike there. I'm not sure if I called that Fade Strike before, but in the meantime, AB going to go down in the top lane. He's only got 800 gold. He's nowhere near this Blink Dagger. Salve up from Fnatic, walking into the tree line. He'll be just fine, and things looking good for Na'Vi in the early game. So Havost finding some farm in the mid lane. He does have his Blink Dagger up and had it sub 10 minutes. So it looks like that was the way he was able to get right into Ake's face bottom lane. He did TP in alongside Dendi, so he was able to blink forward and pounce onto Ake and finish him off with relative ease. He does also have a bottle here, so a mass bottle gaming for Na'Vi, actually for everyone. There's 4 bottles in this game right now, with Ake on the Wisp, of course, having his as well. They are able to clean up the tower bottom, though. Ape Mother doesn't even need to commit Exorcism for that one. I was sure I didn't hear that pop, so... towers are 1-0 in Alliance's favor, but small consolation prize for losing 2 as they pushed in bottom. Excuse me there. Take a look at the graphs here. 4,000 experience and 2,000 gold in favor of Na'Vi have been amassed. We will see Havost with an invisibility rune look to go on AB here. Doesn't want to go too deep towards that tower. And another stack going to be farmed up here by Ape Mother and Misery. So that's something Alliance have definitely done a good job of, is ensuring that their Death Prophet has something. Despite how poorly that mid lane has gone. So Ape Mother's gonna have to base, however, here, and TP back to this mid lane if he wants to defend it. AB does finally pick up Stampede.
Under attack.
12 minutes, almost 13 minutes into the game. He's sitting at level 6 underneath Ake and Misery, and just barely above FNG and Van score here. So AB having a terrible time this game, unfortunately. I might have jinxed it in the draft there, folks. But not so much his play this game as it was the laning situation he was put in. Of course, as I had mentioned, Na'Vi a little more flexible with the lanes in the draft just because Alliance's draft was so obvious in their lanes, and they needed to babysit Loda bottom. So Bassi picked up here for Ape Mother, so he will pop the Exorcism mid, and they will look to take down this tier 1 with the help of Phantasm as well. Glyph's going to be popped very early. TP rotations in from FNG here. Looks like Havost is staying in the bot lane. And Fnatic actually a little bit nervous about this one. Vanscore sitting on the high ground. TPs are in from Funix Tidehunter. Does he have a blink ready? He does not. He's quite a ways away, but concussive shot, Ravage, well worth the kill on Ape Mother here. But he doesn't want to commit it, and Stampede going to be used to help them retreat here. And the last of the Exorcism is going to expire. Ape Mother just going to go bottom and find some farm there. I would have used the Ravage for Ape Mother if I was Fnatic there, but of course, I'm a noob and he's a pro, so he obviously held it with good reason. There was the potential for a reinitiation from the Centaur as well as the rest of the squad, but in addition, the heal from the Exorcism was coming in fairly soon after the Ravage, if that was the case, so he holds on to it there. He doesn't Fnatic definitely worried about dying, being so close as he is to this Blink Dagger, and actually he does have enough gold at this current moment in order to pick that up. So Roshan gonna be grabbed here. Will the Blink Dagger come out for Fnatic? It will. So Aegis is gonna go the way of Dendi, and he's already got Treads, Yasha drums at this point. FNG is going to find Ape Mother. It's exactly the target they want. Leap Pounce going to miss from Havost. Not going to matter. FNG picks up that kill with one last right click. And that's the second highest net worth target on Alliance. So things going very well for Na'Vi. 5-2 is your score. 15.5 minutes into the game, but not sure that is indicative of the lead Na'Vi has at this current moment. If we take a look at the metrics, net worth lead generated 5k, 7,500 experience lead. Take a look at the hero levels. The top of the board, all three cores for Na'Vi are ahead of all three cores. And even the supports for Na'Vi are ahead of the third core for Alliance. So things looking very grim for Alliance here. They haven't gotten anything done with this level 6 Wisp. No relocate so far. Na'Vi been doing a good job of keeping their heroes at least in twos, and Havost usually the one off by himself with that Blink Dagger as well as the Shadow Dance and the Pounce. He'll have no problem evading this sort of gank. So Exorcism and Phantasm pop mid lane. Loda does get the extra image here. Blinking Pounce though from Havost onto Ape Mother. Missed it Claire. And he's going to drop quick. Say goodbye to your Exorcism. Ravage on 3. Meld Strike. One more right click from Dandy. And Ake going to come back into this one. 3-0 Inc. Mid lane for Na'Vi. And Brain Sap from Bane going to finish that off. In fact, they even deny the tower mid, I believe. And Havost is going to find Misery on the high ground with the help of Fnatic as well. So, free tower, 4-0 going their way. 1,400 experience, 852 gold, as well as the 1,000 gold from the tower. So, things going extremely well for Na'Vi here. They look really comfortable in this draft. AB doesn't even have his Blink Dagger yet. 17 minutes in, and they really need to help him out more recently. It's unfortunate for Alliance here that they have been on a bit of a slump post ESL 1, so unfortunate for them. They did beat Secret in these qualifiers, which is something not many teams have been able to do, but this will be their 6th loss if it ends up playing out that way, and in that case they are more or less eliminated from the tournament. They still have a slim chance, and AB actually going to get picked off once again in the bot lane. He did pick up his Blink Dagger before dying, so that's going to help out Alliance's lineup quite a bit. But when you need to create space and you need an initiation for your relocate gangs, you really need to do a better job of protecting your Centaur and ensuring his farm. So unfortunate for Alliance, they have to pay too much attention to Loda, and with this Midas build, and perhaps Sanjin Yasha here, he's got a Belt of Giant Strength. Loda really hasn't paid off for Alliance at this point. So there will be a smoke movement from 4. I wanted to say 3. There is 4 in the top lane. They lose their tier 1 in the safe lane in the meantime, and they probably will not find anyone unless they find Vanscore here from Na'Vi, but it's really not the target they want. Misery's smoke was just popped, his poke, and well played by Vanscore to sit in the tree line there. He pops the smoke. Na'Vi is now well aware of this, and they will have to go headlong into a push if they want to force a fight here for Alliance. But it looks like they'll back off and look to find something in their own jungle, where they will find Fnatic, who has a blink, and he will get Reality Rifted and Chaos Bolt. Only a 2-second Chaos Bolt here, however. Ancient Steel Mystic Flare Ravage out onto Loda. He'll get cleaned up by an Anchor Smash, and boom! Down goes Aki to the Arcane Bolt as well. And even getting the jump there. Easy 2 kills going the way of Na'Vi. And we're hitting into the point of no return here. 10,000 net worth, 15,000 experience lead for Na'Vi. Not sure where AB was in that smoke movement. If he was there with that hoof stomp, they may have been able to clean up Fnatic before he was able to get that Ravage off, or at least have more support there. But unfortunately, AB was not with the team when that smoke happened top lane, as he had died prior to it in the bot lane. But he doesn't TP bottom either, it seems. So rough times for Na'Vi, folks. Very rough times. Or for Alliance, I should say. Great times for Na'Vi. Eul Scepter, 21 minutes into the game, picked up for 8 Mother, so those stacks didn't do just enough for him there. He's sitting at level 10, barely above FNG's Skywrath here. So as the graphs show, in excess of 15,000 experience lead here. Safe lane tower gonna go down to Havos as well as Tendi. Tendi has a Desolator up 21 minutes in with the Drums Yasha build. This is crazy for him. Look at Havos. He's probably got a Scotty. He does. Blink Scotty treads. And 1 Mithril Hammer up for Havos here. We'll look to see if he builds into BKB with the Deso already up. Perhaps he builds a Maelstrom, but that's not too common on Slark. So probably a BKB for him. With the BKB and the Shadow Dance, he'll be unkillable on this Slark. And he is sitting at the top of the net worth chart here. So they will find 2 towers for free in this off lane. Alliance not willing to fight. I mean, however, Loda will be caught in the top lane. He's going to Phantasm up and try and run away. He will get relocated out by the Wisp and Stampede used to find out Dendi in the secret shop here. Relocate is back towards Dendi, and doesn't look like they'll leave. Ake does get cleaned up by Havos. Dendi is here though. He tries to put 1 Melstrick into AB before dying. So 1 for 1 across the map does go Alliance's way. A lot of experience going the way of the 3 heroes that were present. However, still things heavily in Na'Vi's favor at this point, and trading the 2 towers for them there helps quite a bit with their gold lead. So, or net worth lead, I should say. Misery gonna get Anchor Smashed as well as Gushed up here. Blink away to avoid the light strike away was very nice there, but the Wisp tether speed is going to be able to keep Misery up. And a little bit of a greedy play from Fnatic there, using the Ravage. He will feed himself away, and that's a lot of experience, 500 each. For all of Na'Vi, 2,500 experience going their way. Don't want to throw now, Na'Vi. So a little bit of a spike backwards in their direction for Alliance, but don't think this will be enough. The BKB is finally up here for Lotus CK, so perhaps he was thinking Sajigasha, changed his mind. He does have that belt of giant strength as well as a bracer there, so a little bit of a sampler build from Loda. He's got a little bit of everything for himself. Relocate is bottom onto Vanscore. They will be able to pull him in. However, F&G is here. Nice defensive sleep. Grip, Mystic Flare, Meld Strike, and Dendi will finish off. Did the Sideblade kill? No, Slark killed Ake there. So relocate attempt number 2 failed miserably here for Ake and Loda. So 2,000 gold and 2,000 experience and Roshan going the way of Na'Vi, and this may as well be GG territory with Havos picking off Misery in the top lane, as well as scaring Ape Mother off. So 2,200 gold. He actually does build the Maelstrom on the Slark, so attacking a little faster, does have the lightning procs as well. Will build into Mjolnir later on, and can be the front liner here for Na'Vi to allow Dendi to do a little more work. Dendi just standing here bottom with Refraction up, putting a lot of harass into that tower here. Ape Mother going to silence him out, and Cryptstorm going to be absorbed by that Refraction. Psyblade's going to clean up the entire wave here in 2 hits. And Psionic Trap's going to be dropped by Dendi. He's going to find this tower with relative ease. There are TPs in from Bulldog here. So he is able to blink and hoof stomp him. They will not deny this tower yet. Relocate is in here but actually Havost is going to kill off Aki before the relocate. Dendi's still going to fall in this bot lane, it seems. Will he be able to kill off AB? No, but that's just an Aegis. And does Dendi have a blink? No, he's got Manta instead. So Vansguard going to find Loda as well in the mid lane with the rest of his team. Dendi creating so much space bot lane. And he's going to actually Manta up from Ape Mother, and the grip goes out as well. GG is called here from Loda. Absolute stomp from Na'Vi, showing why they're worth it, and not to be doubted here is Na'Vi defeating even 4-21 Bulldog. Bulldog pretty salty about that one. Had a very, very poor game on the center. Not so much for his play, but Bulldog has been very underwhelming recently for Alliance. Unfortunately for them, not his fault in this one. Certainly the laning stage was extremely difficult for him. Na'Vi gonna roll over Alliance here in the Summit 2 Europe qualifiers. So taking a look at the standings once again for you guys quickly before I go. Na'Vi now goes to 3-1, and we will see Alliance at 2-6, which means they have a maximum of 5 wins, which pretty much means they're more or less eliminated. Have they faced PR yet? Yes, they lost to PR, so they can win a tiebreaker with Secret if Secret ends up losing all 6 of their remaining, or all 5 of their remaining games, which is highly unlikely. They cannot win a tiebreaker with Tinker, and they have not faced Virtus Pro Polar yet. So if Virtus Pro Polar is only able to manage 1 win, Alliance beats them and of course wins out, then they would beat them in a tiebreaker. But in that case, Moscow 5, Compass Gaming, Cloud9, Na'Vi, and Empire all have the potential to finish with better than 6 losses. So internet's bogging out a bit here, guys. Sorry if I dropped a frame or 2 there. Yeah, I probably dropped quite a few, but it seems to be stable now. Anyways, thank you so much for joining me today, guys. This was the Summit 2, presented by G2A.com, 100TB, Twitch.tv, and of course, Beyond the Summit. I am Morris Pease, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and that was Na'Vi defeating Alliance. So, rematch of the TI 3 finals, of course, with the other side coming out on top. Very nice draft from both teams, very well played. Unfortunately, outlaned were Alliance, and then Na'Vi just end up snowballing through that game there. So, very well played by all, especially the cores of Na'Vi there were really stand out, and in that offensive dual lane, they got a lot more for Fnatic than than Admiral Bulldog was able to get in the offlane. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Na'Vi playing an excellent game there. There is one more game today in the Summit 2 Europe qualifiers. That is PR versus Empire here. So both teams have gone undefeated so far today. PR going 2-0. Empire going 1-0 in their game versus Fnatic. PR beating Fnatic and Compass as well. So interesting. Check out Liquipedia for this cross table and standings here, guys. Once again, Na'Vi is now 3-1, and Fnatic mathematically eliminated today. Alliance is 2-6. They're more or less mathematically eliminated. One more loss would seal their fate. But they need a lot to go in their favor in terms of the fate of the other teams in order for them to make it through with 6 losses. So for all intensive purposes, Alliance is pretty much out, but there is still a slim hope there. So thanks again for joining me today, guys. I am Maurice Pease, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. I will be back with you tomorrow for some Dota 2 coverage. Not sure if we have Dota pick games tomorrow. Just going to check it out real quick. I don't believe so, but we may. It doesn't seem that there are any listed upcoming events currently on dotapit.com. So perhaps we will have some more Summit Europe. Perhaps we will have the beginning of the Chinese qualifiers playoffs, which include Vici, Newbie, CDEC, and LGD. So CDEC going to look to get some really meaningful revenge on their former organization in LGD Gaming. Of course, CDEC did leave LGD Gaming and was picked up by Doyu TV, I think. And so they are now called CDEC Gaming. So we'll see if Xiao Hong maybe and the boys are able to make it through that bracket. Obviously going to be very difficult either way. Thanks again for joining me, guys. I'm Maurice Pease, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, and this was the Summit 2 presented by G2A.com, 100TB, Twitch.tv, and Beyond the Summit. If you haven't already, go ahead and purchase up that ticket. Of course, comes with the compendium as well as I'll just show you guys quickly. Compendium here for the Summit. Lots of goodies in there, as well as, of course, Dusky the Husky Courier. And he is pretty damn cute. It comes with this ward as well for Beyond the Summit ward. Pretty damn nice. This loading screen, a Dusky loading screen, as well as the Demonic Essence HUD that you guys saw me using in the game there. And of course, Dusky the Husky, the cutest courier in Dota 2. So if you haven't already, $9.99 USD is the price. Pick up that Summit. Prize pool has already contributed 152,000 on top of the 100,000 base pool. So thanks so much to the community for really supporting this tournament and the players, guys. And thanks for supporting me. If you can, follow me on Twitter at MRP_Dota, on Twitch at MRP_Dota as well, and on YouTube.com/More Rage Please Dota, one word. More Rage PLZ DOTA, one word. Thanks so much for joining, guys. I'm Maurice Pease, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster.